Okay, so we're going to show you how to install and use the PhySens console for measuring temperature and moisture sensor tags, which I have a couple here. So the first thing to do is to take your browser to the SensThys website, so www.senthys.com. That's SENSTHYS. Then navigate under the support menu to software. Under software, you'll see a number of items, software development kits, applications, and firmware. The middle one is the applications. This is the one you are interested in. And you'll see ProSense and PhySens there. We're interested in PhySens, as in physical, so we're detecting the physical environment. And go ahead and download that via your browser. Once you've downloaded it, the nice thing about this is all you need to do is really just place this downloaded directory into wherever you want to execute the program from. You don't actually have to do an installation per se. So I'm just keeping it very simple. I'm just copying it straight to my desktop in this case here. If you'd like to create a shortcut, go into the folder and go ahead and create a shortcut. I find that a little bit helpful. Make sure you got your reader set up next. So I've got a Sensor family product here. This is the Enterprise. You can use a Pro. You can use the SensThys Core, any of the Sensors family readers. So if I go ahead and run the PhySens application, you'll see it's actually a fairly small window. And we actually did that because we have customers using this in production environments and sometimes with actually pretty low screen resolutions. So it's small, so it fits onto some of those screens. On the left-hand side, you'll see that the reader populates in this window here. So all of our readers put out a heartbeat, and this is detected by the console here. And then on the right-hand side, you can see we have the sensor detection type, and that's basically either temperature or something called SCDE. That's basically just a registered value that we use for determining moisture and the density of materials and some other properties of the materials as well. If you don't have the active antenna, I actually have just a single sensor array here. So I'm going to be using the internal antenna. And you do need to know which sensor type you're using. It's either going to be the Magnus S2 or the Magnus S3. If you're in any doubt, you're probably using a Magnus S3. That's the direction things are going in these days. Then there is an average samples. I think by default it's set to 10, but you can set that to 5 or 10. And the purpose of that is basically to smooth out any bumps in the reading, so you get consistent reads. The power range you probably don't want to change, and that's basically just a range that the power is going to come out from the reader in order to get these tags into their happy place. So once you've got that set up, I'm going to first of all demonstrate just temperature on the internal antenna, Magnus S3, and I'm going to sample for about 10 reads. So I then go to measure tags, and you can either set the read duration for a certain amount of time, like 5 seconds, for example. If you leave it at 0, it'll just carry on reading forever. And then it's just start reading. And you immediately start to see reports back from these tags. And you can see my room is fairly warm. I'm just looking up a thermometer I have over there. And yeah, it's about 25 centigrade in here. Okay, and so I'm just going to go ahead and read some of these tags for reading moisture. So if I start reading, you'll see them being reported right here. And the averaging will start to bring the values close together. The fact is I'm holding a couple of them here, which probably makes them read a little bit funny because they're reading the density of my hands as well. But you can see the reporting there quite happily. Okay, now you've got the basics working and you're able to read the temperature and the humidity or the SCDE register values, the sensor code values from these tags. Now's the time to have fun. So you can obviously apply these to any item for reporting temperature. They'll report up to about 100 centigrade quite happily. And beyond that, they'll stop reporting. The tanks will survive much higher temperatures up to about 250 centigrade. But they'll stop reporting until they come back below 100 centigrade again. A little tip for you on the moisture tag, or reading these tags and getting the moisture values. I find it kind of helpful to actually apply the tags to pieces of thick paper or thin cardboard. It's much easier to get the tag moist and actually watch it dry out over time using a piece of card. Just putting a piece of wet paper towel over it is less effective because you're not really so much in contact with the tag. So I find this a much more helpful way of getting the tag to read moist and then watch it dry out. And you can kind of see this one's been maybe wet a few times. So anyway, that's a little tip. The other tip I would recommend is with the SensThys products, because you have the antenna right here, is normally to get the best reading is just to read slightly off the antenna, where you avoid any null in the middle of an antenna. That's it. So with that, go have fun and read temperature and moisture.